Have you ever thought to yourself, I can't see a damn thing in this game? Seeing all these numbers and boxes gives me PTSD of when I was sitting down at the dinner table, crying while my dad was yelling at me for struggling with my multiplication tables in the 2nd grade. Then you've come to the right place. Today, we're gonna be turning your old, dusty, and utterly cringe UIs into beautiful, sleek, and based works of art. So buckle up, put on your favorite fedora, and let's get cooking. The first step in perfecting your own UI is figuring out what is most important to you. Do you like clarity? Are you a tank that needs markers since your static is too lazy to do it themselves? Or are you a boomer that must have all text be enlarged to the size of their prostate? Personally, I like to see as much as possible to get the most information, while still being aware of OGCDs, buffs, and other helpful information in fights. It also doubles as a nice utility bar for quick setting toggles, emotes, macros, and the like. I would always recommend keeping your HP bar near you in the center. Have you ever had that one jank-ass healer that always seems to forget to heal you after a spread mechanic? That's where your self-heal comes in handy. But Zenko, please enlighten us with your almighty wisdom. How do we know when to self-heal? HP bar low? Press button. HP bar not low? Press anyway, cause funny. Now that I think about it, most of my combat UI elements are around the center. Unless your IRL FOV is set to like 300, you probably won't be able to clearly see raid buffs, the enemy cast bar, limit break gauge, and most importantly, those spicy DMs from that VR you saw in Limsa. And if you're wondering how I split the target bar, just go to the target bar element, click on the cogwheel that says UI element settings, and check the box that says display target info independently. There are other UI elements that have this feature like status info element, so don't be afraid to look around and just test things out. When it comes to the hotbar, I prefer to keep it somewhat small, like my dick. I also like to organize my abilities based on their function and purpose, something most Final Fantasy players lack. For example, regardless of which job I'm playing, X will always be for increasing my HP such as healing and shielding. I actually chose that button because when I used to play Overwatch professionally, whenever I'd spam X, I'd get healed. Huh. I wonder why that was. Another small tip is using a larger hotbar above your main one and dragging another set of OGCDs on it. I do this because I don't always want to look down at the bottom of my screen and see how long I have left until my next burst window is up or when I can mitigate a raid wide. Having a duplicate right next to my HP makes it a lot easier to calculate how much time I have and what I can do in the meantime. Choosing keybinds that are close to WASD is also very, very important, especially in Dawntrail where you must always be moving. God bless Black Mage. You will always have a special place in my heart. The less movement you need to hit your skills and abilities, the better. And you better not be clicking your abilities either. I'm talking to you, T-Rex maker. You can also bind modifiers like shift and control to give yourself triple the amount of keybinds without needing to stretch all the way over to the right side of your keyboard. To change the amount of buttons you can have inside of a hotbar, go into the HUD layout editor, click on the hotbars that you want to adjust, and then in UI elements, you can choose a variety of layouts depending on what you need. But wait! Before you go and fill up all your hotbars, there is one little teeny tiny secret I'll let you in on. You see this inconspicuous looking hotbar? Well, what if I told you that this hotbar is a magical hotbar? One that can fill your deepest desires. This is a bit more complicated though, since it requires macros and uses base class job hotbars. Basically, if you don't know what a tank sense is, good luck figuring this one out. This is commonly referred to as a collapsing hotbar. To start off, we're going to reserve 10, 9, and 8 to display whatever we wish. But of course, you can add as many as you want. You're going to want to copy this macro that allows us to toggle the display of the hotbars below it, and then drag said macro onto the topmost hotbar, which is 10 in this case. Whenever you click on that macro, hotbar 9 should appear for a couple seconds and then disappear, just like your dad after getting milk from the grocery store. Now you can drag other macros, emotes, mounts, and anything you wish into hotbar 9 to quickly do whatever you need without it constantly being in your way. But what do we need hotbar 8 for? I'm getting there, okay? This is some complicated stuff, man. It's a lot for most people, including my gigantic lolliful brain. Let's make a job switching hotbar, for example. But instead of just toggling the visibility of the 8th hotbar, we're going to be changing the contents inside of it. Let's start by making 3 new macros, one for each role: DPS, tank, and healer. You're going to swap to a job that has a base class, such as Black Mage, and remove your job stone. This will strip you down to your tidy whities, but most importantly, switch your job to the base class. Since we rarely do low-level content, we'll just be using some of the hotbars from the older jobs. Pick one of the unused hotbars and start filling it up with your DPS gear sets or job macros. Keep note of the hotbar number since we'll need it shortly. We're going to copy this command into our DPS macro. Make sure to change this job to whatever you chose, as well as the number of the hotbar. This will then copy exactly what you had on that hotbar onto hotbar 8. And just like that, you now have a fully functioning collapsing hotbar with the ability to switch jobs on the fly. You can continue to do the same thing for tanks, healers, crafters, gatherers, whatever you want. The only limitation is your imagination. And trust me, I've unfortunately seen your Emmett Selk fanfic on Twitter. You can certainly imagine. But I do hope that you found at least something in this video helpful. Now that you have the ability to see again, you should find the subscribe button and share this with your friends so they can stop shitting out great parses. Let me know if you want more of this and I'll keep cooking. I think we're good.
I'm so inside.
He's just like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm gonna start flexing on him.